favourite time of the week is when we talk to our favourite woman in the world. Sorry, that's just the way it is. None other than the wonderful Megyn Kelly. How are you, rockstar?
I am so well. How are you?
Regardless of where people are on Israel-Palestine, we can all unite around the madness that is happening on US campuses. I hope it doesn't happen here. It's violent, it's excessive, it's clearly intimidatory, and amazingly, police can't even do anything about it. They have to be invited to do something about it by the university.
Yeah, it's amazing. The college campus thing, the cowardice of the leaderships across the board at Columbia and these other universities is absolutely disgusting. I'm so disappointed in them. I guess my expectations are appropriately set, so it's not like they've let me down big time. But if you look at, let's say, Ron DeSantis, who's the governor of Florida and has instituted rules for the state universities down there, he would never let this happen. Never. What's happening at places like Columbia and Yale and NYU is they're rolling over for these angry anti-Semitic protesters who are chanting things like death to the Jews and Al-Qassam's next target, which is the militarized wing of Hamas, standing in front of a bunch of Jewish people holding Israeli flags, encouraging violence outright and saying, well, yeah, protest, right? Like, you could get thrown off college campus not too long ago for using he instead of she in referring to a trans person. That is just exactly the kind of thing that would get you thrown off, or not believing in DEI or any of their, sacred cows.
All right, let's get to Trump. I'm sitting up in the middle of the night watching all the coverage, and it kind of feels like we're moving towards a slam dunk of guilty. But then thank goodness for you, because when I listen to your show, Sirius XM, find it on YouTube, you actually get to the absolute heart of it. And as a lawyer, you're able to start to pull it apart. And you had to listen to the opening arguments of the prosecution, and you are not impressed.
Alvin Bragg, the prosecutor in this case, revealed something in his opening statement. He's not the one actually doing the opening statement. It's his deputy, Colangelo. But they revealed something in their opening statement that shocked me. They are not going with the expected underlying felony of this case that we all expected they'd be going for. And just the brief primer is they were charging him with the misdemeanor for falsifying his business records about his hush money payment to a porn star. But the statute of limitations had expired on that. And the only way they could revive it is by saying, oh, you falsified those records to cover up a crime. Well, now you need a crime. And their crime was, we thought, this underlying felony of campaign finance violation, to pay the porn star $130,000 and not declare it as a campaign contribution. That's a violation. That's not where he's going. He seems to be going someplace else entirely, where he's just accusing Trump, the head of the National Enquirer, this tabloid magazine, and Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, who's going to testify against Trump, of having engaged in a conspiracy to win the election. I mean, that's really what it is. You engage in a conspiracy to win. And all the things you did, which would have been perfectly legal had you done them 6 months earlier, magically became illegal because you did them kind of close to an election. I mean, that's really how it sounds. That's what they're going with. And their lead witness was David Pecker, the guy who ran American Media Inc., the company that owns the National Enquirer, along with other tabloids, who's going to talk about how, yeah, I did. Trump was my pal. I paid off a couple of women who were threatening him. Somebody at the Trump organization or through Trump paid me back. We haven't yet gotten to that piece of it. And I've done this for many other people. Like, even MSNBC admitted he did things like this for Bill Cosby. The exchange that he got from Bill Cosby was not to see him ascend to the presidency or a friendship with Bill Cosby, but Bill Cosby would give him exclusives and appear on the cover of the magazine. Arnold Schwarzenegger, same thing. And MSNBC is salivating, saying, oh, but what they got from Trump is he's elevated into the White House. Maybe just they were friends for a long time and he was thrilled to help his friend. I mean, Paul, if you ran for president and you needed me to bury a story for you, I would do it. I don't need access to power. You're just my friend. It happens all the time. It doesn't become a felony just because you're close in time to an important election.
Also, can we talk about the media just for a second here? Don't you love how, in order to make things much more serious, the word scheme keeps being used as if it was, some plan to clip the ticket and stand over people?
you and I had a scheme to do TV tonight. I mean, you can apply that to anything. It doesn't make it illegal just because you use that word, but they keep using that word. And MSNBC is also just completely baffled by the fact that they're openly admitting that Trump had these women sign non-disclosure arrangements, or Trump or somebody on his behalf, NDAs. Yes, of course he did. What kind of an idiot would pay $130,000 to a woman to get her to shut up without getting her to sign an NDA? There, everybody uses NDAs. Anybody who gets sued and pays out a real claim, anybody who gets sued and pays a nuisance judgment gets an NDA. This is not something nefarious that only Team Trump used against these poor women. These women slept with him, according to their allegations, by their own accord. There was no Me Too situation. They wanted some action. They knew he was a married man. They went for it anyway. All right. Their hands are not clean. And then when he was moving closer to, becoming a public official, they saw a chance to cash in. They wanted money to keep their stories quiet. And Trump, like most married men, is accused of paying them off to be quiet. It doesn't make it a scheme. It doesn't make the NDA nefarious. And not for nothing, but the fact that NBC News has the gall to try to demonize NDAs is really something, because that's the company. Speaking of, pay for catch and kill, they're the company that let this star reporter Ronan Farrow walk out the door with a Pulitzer Prize winning story. He would win it at a different place, the New Yorker, that exposed Harvey Weinstein as a perverted creep. Why did they let that story walk out the door? Well, Ronan's book reports, NBC denies, but Ronan reports that it was because they were worried that Harvey Weinstein, the subject of Ronan's piece, was going to out NBC's resident creep, Matt Lauer, for his antics with the sex and all the stuff with the ladies. And so do you think that NBC was having Matt Lauer's alleged affair partners, to put it as charitably as I can, sign NDAs? You're damn right they did. There's a long list of them, and I know many of them. And not just Matt Lauer. And NBC had multiple women sign NDAs when they left the company, both for Me Too related reasons and other reasons. So please spare me your false indignation at the fact that Trump, in paying off two women who consensually had sexual affairs with him outside of his marriage and potentially theirs, I don't know, he made them sign non-disclosures. It's par for the course.
Megyn Kelly, best in the business. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Great to see you.